Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Niall O'Connell. We have just seen Joe Cordina return to action after a long time out of the ring, defeating Jaret Gonzalez, unanimous decision in Manchester in not a close fight, but an entertaining fight. Niall, good to be joined by you as always. Good evening. Give us your thoughts. What did you make of Joe Cordina's ring return?
Yeah, I thought it was a very entertaining fight, as you say, although it wasn't the closest. But yeah, I was impressed with Cordina, to be honest, returning after inactivity, and the big loss to Kikachi back up at lightweight. Now I thought he looked strong, he looked refreshed, and I thought it was a good performance. I thought he dictated the pace of the fight well. I was surprised with how aggressive he was at times. In terms of kind of taking centre ring and walking Quiroz down, I thought it'd be the other way around. But yeah, I thought he looked sharp, looked good. Got caught a couple of times as we've seen, but that's no kind of real surprise. As I say, with the inactivity, there's going to be a bit of rust there. And we've seen it even before the Kakachi fight that Cardina does love to kind of have a bit of a tear up at times as well. And yeah, it's a dangerous opponent to come back to. A big punching Mexican who came to win. Really awkward style to figure out, really kind of that herky-jerky type of rhythm. But yeah, job done for Cardina, to be honest.
Yeah, look, a few eyebrows raised when the opponent was announced. A punching Mexican. We've kind of been here before, haven't we? When kind of someone who isn't that well known comes to the UK and ends up stopping someone against Cordina, who look, we all know he's a very good fighter, but 33 years old now, 14 months out the ring, coming off a loss. It was a potential recipe for disaster. I'll be honest. So yeah, got the win. Scorecards 100 to 90, 99, 91, 98, 92. Maybe a bit harsh to not give Gonzalez a round, if you ask me, for the 190 card, but yeah, no kind of debate over who won that fight. Niall, um, can Joe Cordina do it again? Can he win a world title again? Two-time world champion, moving up in weight. This was for a WBO global title, whatever that means. So he could possibly be fighting the winner of Sam Noakes, Abdullah Mason, next year. But yeah, can you see him winning a world title again?
I think, yeah, I can see him doing it again. To be honest, I know a lot of people wrote his obituary after that Anthony Kakachi loss, but Joe Cornina, he has all the talent in the world. He really does, and he's up now at a fresh weight. I was so curious to see how he looked. He looked fresh tonight. And yeah, when he puts it all together, he's supremely talented. Maybe I know there was kind of previous talk of him fighting Shakur Stevenson. He was meant to, and maybe that's a bit of a step too far at this stage. But you look at the likes of, even a Ray Murataya, if that fight was to happen, and yeah, Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes, as you say, he's kind of in line to maybe get a crack at the winner of that. And if Joe Cardina's on it, at his best, he could cause both of them, whoever comes through that, absolutely massive problems. He really could. Mason being, Sam Noakes as well, being kind of unproven at world class level so far as well. So, yeah, I really think that he can, if it clicks for him on the night, talent wise, he's an incredible talent. On that performance, he probably wouldn't win a world title, but as I say, it's his comeback fight. Maybe I wouldn't really like to see him fight for a world title next year, or maybe that kind of fringe world level fight while he waits for the winner of Mason Noakes. But yeah, I think one more fight to kind of shake the ring rust off, and then back in for a belt. I'd give him every chance.
I hope so. Obviously, he's back with Matchroom now. I feel Eddie Hearn's made it clear he's going to kind of work very hard to get him the best opportunities possible. So we'll see. I do want to ask you now, like we like asking kind of annoying questions here on these calls late at night. Do you think, basically, I want your opinion on who's Britain's best lightweight is? Joe Cordine and Sam Noakes, most people would say are top two. There's still Maxi Hughes, Josh Padley, but Joe Cordina and Sam Noakes. Who's kind of that? This is a fight that could happen as well. Who would win that fight next if they did fight?
It's a fascinating fight, and it'll be a huge fight for in the UK. You know, it really would. I really like Sam Noakes. I like his aggression. I like his power. You know, I like his spitefulness. And you know, as I say, even kind of before the Kakachi fight, and tonight again, we've seen Cardina get caught with big shots. You know, he has a kind of an eye for a tear up at times, and you know, he got caught with big shots tonight and he got hurt. Noakes can definitely land those shots. And when Noakes lands those shots, you know, he won't be as awkward as Quiroz was, and he'll keep up the pace that Quiroz didn't tonight. He'll be cleaner with his work and he will be more spiteful. So I think if it was to happen next, and I had to pick a winner, I'd have to say Sam Noakes, to be quite honest with you. At this stage of Cordina's career, I think Sam Noakes could stop him. And that's not to say Cordina is finished or washed. You know, as I said at the kind of start of this video, I think Cordina could win a world title again, but stylistically, I think Noakes could cause him all sorts of problems and stop him. I'd probably back Noakes in that slightly, but it wouldn't be a massive favour in the Sam Noakes, but I just think, yeah, I think he'd catch him with something big and get him out of there. I really do.
Yeah, look, I think it's a great fight. It could be for a world title. It would be another Matchroom versus Queensberry fight. It's a fight that could make. I'd be interested to know where that fight would happen. To be honest, whether it be in Saudi, would Noakes go to travel to Cardiff? Would it be in London, somewhere else? Who knows? But yeah, I think that could be a fantastic fight. Final question from me to you now before we head to the main event. What do you think's left of Cordina's career? Because on one hand, he is 33, but on the other hand, he's not had I don't think he's had too many wars. He's kind of just had the one loss on his record, and that Rakhimov fight was a tough fight. The Edward Vasquez fight was a tough fight, but in terms of kind of punishment, I don't think he's taken a lot of punishment. What do you think's left in terms of kind of how much we could get from Joe Cordina? Because I feel like when you're 33, you get fighters retiring at 33, and then you get fighters going on until they're 36, 37. What do you see happening here?
Yeah, it is a tough one. As I say, he was written off last year, and you know, for a fighter like Cardina, who's kind of so reflex based, speed based, it is only a matter of time before starts slowing down. Even though you said that he hasn't taken much damage, which is true. But I think he is on kind of a one last life situation. You know, I think the next loss for him, no matter what the level is, I think that's it. Yeah, so I think, yeah, I think he has a world title in him. I really do, as we said in this video, and I hope so. I like Cardina. I like his style. He seems like a nice bloke as well, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I hope he does get a world title before he calls it a day. But yeah, just for fighters like that in that style, you know, you're looking at about 3 more years, probably max, to get it done in my opinion. By the time
Yeah.
he's 35, 36, you know, that type of range.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Look, I think look, it's about being in big fights as well as it usually is when fighters are in the stage of their career. It's strange the mission being a world champion in the end because I think really a lot of it is about making as much money as possible. But we'll see. Cordina, I think he's had frustrating parts of his career of inactivity, of kind of not getting the big fights he wants, and I think that's one thing that's been missing from Joe Cordina's career. I don't think he's really been in a big fight, if I'm honest with you. He's had the fight in Saudi, which was I'm sure he got well paid for. He's headlined in Cardiff, but in terms of kind of like a big fight, I don't think he's really been in one. So I hope that's still to come for his career. Now, good to be joined by you as always, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers, take care.